If your food shots are doing little more than showing just the food itself, then you're missing out on a huge part of what makes food photography special: narrative. Hey guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back to That Stage, where we talk all about food photography to help you build the creative career you want. Today, we are going to be talking about creating a visual narrative through a series of images, something that is really important because in client work, you're often going to come across a situation where you need to capture the same dish in several different ways, creating an interesting set of images that tie together. Today's video is kindly sponsored by the amazing guys over at Saal Digital, who have provided some incredible prints and professional portfolio books for this video. So I can't wait to show you that a little bit later on, so let's jump right in. A narrative is really just a fancy way of saying storytelling in an image. So when we're creating an image or a series of images that go together, we're talking about creating a visual journey that does much more than just show the food in a very literal way. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my process for creating a visual narrative through images and also how I've put together my printed portfolio. It can be really useful to put together a mood board for your shoot long before shoot day, and you can even consider storyboarding your images before you start. This is something that I've actually talked about in the past, where I sketch my compositions, so if you're interested in that, then check out this video. But yeah, creating a mood board is something that I do pretty much for every single client shoot that I do. I often use Pinterest to do this, as it allows me to pull inspiration from a wide variety of places outside of food photography. When you're pulling together a mood board, don't be afraid to go beyond food and start thinking about things like colour and texture and even different time periods to really capture the vision for your shoot. So when we're thinking about a narrative, something as simple as an ingredient can be the consistent thread that flows through several different images. Think about a mint theme, for example. With mint, you could create a wide range of dishes, from pastas, salads, sweets, savouries, drinks, and all those images could look really different, but you have the theme of mint tying them through. So in this series of images, I decided to use the theme of tomatoes to create this visual story. Even though each one presents a different dish or a different way of presenting the ingredients, the three images really nicely fit together with this tomato theme. Now, Saal really kindly let me order this set of images in print, and I am literally blown away. I'm so excited to see these images blown up and printed together. I can't hold all three up, but I'm going to insert a clip for you to see. There's something really special about seeing your work in print, and it's something that I don't really do very often, but I really recommend that you do. For these prints, I decided to go for the metallic paper finish because it's something that I haven't really seen before, and I was really interested in how it would translate in food photography. And something that I really love is just how the slightly iridescent paper, it really makes the colours pop. So particularly in this photo where we've got reds and yellows and greens, it just gives the colours a real pop, which is really cool when you see it close up. It's also a really sharp print of this image, so it's perfect for these kinds of photos where you've got detail with pepper grains and specular highlights. The next tip is to think about your angles and framing. So thinking about how you can vary the way you look at a dish can really help you create a set of interesting images. Try and think beyond the flat lay about how you might differently present your food to capture a different angle. This might mean that you have to rethink your styling or how you're serving it a bit, but it might really create a stunning narrative. By sticking to a certain colour theme, you can really tie some images together, even if the dishes are really varied. And not only that, but colour in itself can really suggest a certain mood. For example, a tropical theme shoot needn't actually feature shady palms, sandy beaches, or the ocean in order to give off a really tropical vibe. You can use this through the colour of the backgrounds and the props that you use as well. Recently, I shot this series of images of this lime dessert, and I really wanted to focus on the coolness of the green as the theme running through the three images. In the first image, I've got the full pie with a few slices taken out and a couple decorated how they would be served. This gives me an overview of the whole dish, and I chose a 3/4 angle to keep this image a little bit interesting. Next, I wanted to shoot a really special macro shot of the limes themselves. Macro photography is a really great way to add interest to your portfolio because it allows you to get up close and personal with the details of food. And then in the final shot, I decided to serve up 3 slices of pie with some spoons, suggesting a little bit more interaction in this image. Okay, so now we are going to talk about creating a narrative in your portfolio. Now, this is one of the things that I'm most excited to show you guys today. So this is the professional line photo book from Saal Digital, which they kindly let me put together to print out a physical copy of my portfolio. In today's digital age, of course, it is super important for you to have a really solid online portfolio, but there's something so special about having a physically printed version of your work to share with your clients. It adds a real personal touch to your images, and it makes it a lot easier to start those conversations with clients about your style as a photographer. But when you're putting together your portfolio, it's not just about what you put in, but it's also about how you put it in. So let's talk about how you can decide on the order of your images in your portfolio. The sequencing and pacing of the images in your portfolio book is going to make a huge difference to the impression that it gives your clients. Some photographers will look for a visual link from one image to the next, whereas others will create a much more literal story, letting the story unfold as you turn from page to page. So in my book, I decided to link the images, not quite so literally, but mostly by theme. So I'll go from sweet to another sweet and then a savory, or I'll also link the images by color. So I start off with these 2 sweet chocolate images, and then I've got my lime series continuing that dessert theme. I've got this big pizza, which for me, it carries the green through to the green, so it makes sense. And then we move on to another red series, and so on and so on. You know, I mean, you can really put together your images as you like, but it really helps to think about something that links one page to the next page. So whether that's the theme of a certain type of food or a color, just bear it in mind when you're compiling your images. Your portfolio is your opportunity to really let your clients know who you are as a photographer. It's more about you than your work. So like any story, it's really important to have a really strong start, a solid middle, and a really strong end. So focus on putting your best work at the beginning and the end, and your really solid work in the middle. Of course, we're not going to put work in that we're not really happy with and wanting to show to clients, but make sure you focus on those strong openings and endings. So for my portfolio books, I have this main 30 by 30 book, which is absolutely perfect for when clients are coming to my studio to meet with me so that I can really show them my work in a pretty good size to have a lot of impact. But I also have this little 21 by 21 little guy, which is perfect for my on-the-go meetings when I'm traveling to client site and I want something that I can slip in my bag and still flick through. So the images inside are exactly the same in both of the books, but I did decide to go for a different cover without any text on this one, and also just to give me a chance to have a different image on the front cover. Designing these books was super easy because Saal provide their own software which is free to download, so you can literally design your book directly into the shape and size of the photo book that you're designing. So as I was designing mine, I was able to play around with the layout, see if I wanted to add any text, how many images I wanted on each page. You can really customize it however you want. Saal also provide their own ICC color profiles, which is such an important part of printing work. Colors don't really read the same digitally as they do in print, so being able to go through and check your images through these color profiles allows you to make any adjustments necessary to make sure that all those colors are going to read perfectly in your final book. I went for matte paper in my photo books, but they also offer glossy paper and also a fine art matte paper. So you can really choose whichever one you feel suits your style best. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to choosing paper type. And Saal are also offering you guys $60 off of your own professional line photo book. So check the link in the description. There's a US link and a European link. So wherever you are in the world, you can get your own professional line photo book. I really do recommend that you guys look into this because this is something that I use all the time in my client meetings, and it's such a useful way to show them who I am as a photographer rather than just sitting in front of a screen and flicking through my online portfolio with them. So thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you learned something useful about how to create a visual narrative through a series of images and how you can put together your own printed portfolio. I'll see you next time. Bye.